everyone, Craig from Do It here, and I'm joined here today by Jake Kaldenbaugh and Andrew Lupersolsky. We're here to talk about the new acquisition that Do It has just made of LiveDiagrams, which will be folded into the DoiT Cloud Intelligence product portfolio. So, wanted to start with Jake here, who kind of initiated and led this process of evaluating LiveDiagrams. So, Jake, to start things off, what was the process that you went through for evaluating LiveDiagrams as a potential expansion opportunity? And like, what was it that first got you interested in it? And then as you went along the way, what, kind of crystallized the idea that they were a good fit?
Yeah, thanks for that, Craig. First of all, I'm really excited to be announcing this deal and glad to see Andrew's here because he's done a great job with it. But in general, we source acquisitions from a number of different paths, right? So whether they come through a banker, whether they come through our CRE community, whether they come through a proactive scan we're doing in the market, board relationships, friends of the firm, there's many ways that opportunities land in our radar and we take a look at. This one actually came through what I think is one of the coolest ways. And that is if you do it well, you know that we have a very strong, what we call CRE or client resource engineer capability. And these are hundreds of people around the world, senior cloud architects that are solving problems and delivering value for our customers every day, and they do it in volume. And so when they come forward with an idea and they say, hey, there's this tool that we're using or this capability that we need, and we've discovered, I pay close attention. The leadership pays close attention to those situations because they're really the core of how we connect our platform and to the customer and create that contextual binding. And we had a senior technologist, Yuval Droy-Ravitzer, who is in Palo Alto here, and he developed a connection with Andrew directly, and he really recognized the potential value of the tool that could deliver to our customers and even influence how we advise and improve how we consult with our cloud computing customers. We were already thinking about how we could map out our customer environments visually. We felt like that was a key capability in the marketplace and would really improve our customers' ability as well as our CRE's ability to understand client environments. And so when Yuval met Andrew, took a look, he elevated it up to myself as well as other people in our R&D organization and our leadership team, and everybody very quickly recognized that this matched what we were thinking about. And so, I love it when opportunities come to us through that pathway because usually it's a very quick assessment and they tend to be high quality referrals, if you will.
All right, thanks so much for that, Jake. And that kind of leads me into the question for Andrew, which is, not only what your background was before, creating LiveDiagrams, but really what were the problems that you and your team set out to solve when you went out to create the solution?
Sure. So my background is mostly in InfoSec. I have 20 plus years in information security, where I started working at a managed service provider as just engineer supporting customers, and then kept on growing throughout my career, eventually leading to consulting business that was working with multiple customers here in the Bay Area. And as I was growing, I moved more from addressing technical stuff like vulnerabilities, working on the actual system, more working with people, working with different teams to make sure that they're secure. So once we saw the great move to the cloud, I ran across a few companies that embraced all of their engineers with you build it, you run it paradigm. And the problem with that for us, for InfoSec people, was that engineers were moving fast, but they were not necessarily focusing on security. They were focusing on delivering fast. And they were also moving and working in silos so that they needed to sync with other teams and with InfoSec and their management. And when I needed to work with them to assess their architecture, advise them on the best security practices, we would typically just lock ourselves in a room and start whiteboarding for a few hours. So when COVID hit, it was impossible, and we immediately realized there is opportunity there for a product that first and foremost solves my personal headache of working with people and making sure that I'm always up to date on what they're doing and keeping the enterprise secure, but also for other teams, their managers, to make sure that people are in sync, everybody knows what's going on, and you always have the right real-time state of the infrastructure in the cloud to make sure that you can troubleshoot efficiently, that you are cost effective, and you are secure.
When you were evaluating this, Jake, as a potential addition to the Do It product portfolio, what were the biggest opportunities that you saw in the product that Andrew and his team created?
Yeah. Well, I'll say one thing I wanted to note, given Andrew's answer, was that he built this for his own problem, right? And we like tools that we find that are developed by people who say, I've got this issue, and their understanding of the problem space is exquisite. And so, this is a great example. That was really helpful, and I think that's really why we think this is a great step in accelerating what we call our Do It Cloud Intelligence strategy, or DCI. And DCI is our vision for a comprehensive cloud management platform that leverages not only intelligent technology, but also our unique human intelligence and expertise that we have in what we call our CRE organization. And based on bringing those two things together, we're really looking to help organizations plan, procure, and operate their cloud environments efficiently and effectively. So when we think about that, we felt that visual mapping and mapping out cloud estates so that people can have a comprehensive understanding of exactly what their environments look like, and whether that's from an architectural perspective, whether that's from a efficiency perspective, or whether it's even from a break fix, how do I find and diagnose problems? It was just a critical capability. Again, it was already in our organic roadmap, and LiveDiagrams really represented a way for us to accelerate that and get that value to our customers more quickly.
And with this addition to the product portfolio, what does that do in your mind for Do Its place in the overall cloud management and FinOps markets?
Yeah, I think it moves us beyond kind of our position where we were seen largely as a FinOps player, right? So we're moving, from a financial analytics perspective, really incorporating operational aspects, right? So if you look at our Do It Cloud Intelligence strategy, it involves things like resiliency and reliability and operational excellence and security, and so it's a much more holistic view on efficiency isn't just about understanding your bill and making decisions based on that. It really is about operating your cloud environments according to business imperatives in a way that really drives effectiveness, and you're doing it in an efficient manner. And so, you know, this capability is one that we think is critical. And we're glad to have Andrew and his small but mighty team on board, because we're excited to put this in front of customers quickly and really deliver that value to them in service of helping them operate their cloud environments.
Andrew, when Jake mentioned how, you were going about and setting and solving like a specific problem that you had. So when you were building this tool, what was it that, ends up differentiating Live Diagrams from the other IT mapping or graphing solutions that were on the market that, you saw a gap that you could solve?
We evaluated a bunch of solutions that were available in the marketplace before we started and throughout our work as well. And what we realized where we have an edge, and that's where I have to give a lot of props to my co-founder Igor, where we really focused not on just mapping everything for the sake of mapping. We're focused on making sure that it makes sense for humans to work with that. So it needs to be not just visually appealing, it needs to make sense from the architect perspective, where it's laid out nicely, it makes sense, and it doesn't have to be re-edited by human, which would be more effort than just creating that from scratch just to begin with. And our main purpose in actually doing this was to solve business issues, not to have like a pretty dashboard that someone can place somewhere on a big screen and just have it for the sake of just having a nice shiny toy. So that's addressing specific issues, and we've spent countless hours with potential customers and just people who were happy to advise me over just LinkedIn connections on the issues they were running into, and telling us their real life use cases where they would needed help from a tool like ours. So we were going against what people wanted, and in a way that it was most meaningful.
And can you tell me a little more about the specific users that you had in mind when you're building this and refining it over time? Like not only who the primary core users are, but also other people within the organization that can also benefit from it, even if it's not the directly serving their day to day.
Right. So obviously we started with security architects because that was my role, my pain. But the market of those people is pretty small, and that's again just one pillar in the well-architected framework. Then we went talk to SRE about how they approach solving issues, troubleshooting, and platform engineering teams. That different verticals, and we also talked to management, where what we've heard from management was that yes, I have a team that I manage, but I don't know exactly what they're doing. When they report an issue to me, I don't always have the right context to be able to go and talk to manager of other teams and explain to them what exactly needs to be done. So I needed something that would give me better visibility in the way that I could understand. They would say that they're technical, but the cloud is pretty complicated with a lot of different features that change every day. So it's impossible to be staying on top with all of that and have a comprehension of your footprint across entire cloud infrastructure footprint.
Andrew, I wanted to jump in a little bit here because I think one of the unique things about your platform, obviously we looked at other options in the market, and there's not a lot of cloud mapping tools focused from a cloud estate perspective, multi-cloud perspective, and you know, I think that was interesting to discover because it now seems obvious that it's a critical capability that any platform that's trying to solve these problems should have. But then when we looked at LiveDiagrams, the fit and finish, and the way that the thoughtfulness about how they presented, the components and the connections and the cloud estates, we were really impressed with all of that.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jake. And now I also come to, at some point, I realized that who would be the best user of our product? That would be cloud consulting company, actually, because they work with a lot of customers. Time is of essence for them, and I wanted to enable their customers and show them a value from day zero. So our product gives you like 5-minute rollout time in which you can start working with customers, showing them exactly what they have, where there could be potentially some issues, or what kind of architecture you would want them to move to. So that's something that enables progress from the first day, and also helps to stay in sync between the customer and the cloud architects, and be able to collaborate in a different way that it was before, with PowerPoint presentations, some text information exchange between tech people, and then trying to translate it to a higher level. I think that in the future we will be able to enable more integrations, not just between technical products, but between more teams, more people inside and outside the organization, to really show the value of the cloud.
In that sense, it really speaks to, the core prop value prop for FinOps in general. And obviously DoiT, this is moving DoiT in a space beyond FinOps, but even that is all about getting different teams to collaborate with each other and get on the same page and simplify all the different data that they all have to care about. So, Jake, to kind of wrap things up here, wanted to ask about where this acquisition of LiveDiagrams fits within the larger business strategies that DoiT has, and what other plans the company may have for this space.
Yeah, obviously I can't be very specific about how we think about M&A, but I'm happy to talk about it at the highest level. And I think that we're doing our job in following the trends in our customer base and looking for the areas that create the most complexity, because that's where you see growing inefficiencies. And so if you think about what makes cloud computing so great, and the reason why it's become the de facto platform for new applications is because you can create and scale at the speed of business. However, I think we're at a turning point or a maturation point for the industry where we're going from a lot of early stage adoption into, kind of a level of complexity and sprawl that's increasing substantially, and that customers are really trying to understand how to manage. So if you look at those evolutions in infrastructure, and you look at the massive growth in data and analytic platforms, even the explosion in AI, and adjacent areas like SaaS, these are all areas that are kind of in various stages of growth, and with growth comes this complexity and inefficiency that we talk about. And we see ourselves being able to solve that at a more holistic level and expanding our footprint in terms of the areas that we should be able to help our customers manage and develop their applications efficiently and effectively so that they're getting the best ROI from their use of this technology. So there's lots of areas that we're looking at. And I think the other thing that we're looking a lot at is because cloud is digital, it is very amenable to automation. So, we're thinking about how do we automate some of these optimizations. And so we're not just delivering insights, but we're actually applying those insights at an increasing pace to ensure customers get a more rapid ROI from their infrastructure.
Awesome. Well, really excited about the addition of LiveDiagrams, and then anything else that the future may hold for DoiT. So, Jake, Andrew, want to thank you so much for taking the time and talking to us a bit more about this. So thanks again, and have a great day.
Thanks, Craig, and welcome on board, Andrew. We're really happy to have you.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you, guys.